Hello, class. I'm going to do a video here for week 5, specifically because there's an additional assignment for inventory, and we're going to use Excel to take a large database of inventory and do sorts on week 5, 6, and 7 for specific things, and those are called out in the assignment instructions. I've put together this video mainly because in past semesters, many students have had severe problems with this assignment because of unfamiliarity with using Excel, understanding how to sort columns and pull all of the other columns along with it. I'm going to show you how to set this up using one database. We'll call it the master database. And you will use that database in week 5, 6, and 7. So let's go to the course and take a look at it. Up on your screen now is the week 5. And if we go down through the course, we have the normal things like the discussions of different things that you're supposed to do, like read chapter 5 and look at the videos and so forth for the forum discussion and the CoSpace assignment. But further on down, you'll see some files that you need to pull up to do week 5, 6, and 7. This video right here is an Excel understanding video, how to sort in columns and pull data to other specific columns. And you won't need to do this until next week, week 6. So maybe we'll do it now. Okay, let's say that in order to set the database up, the master database, you will have to know this. So just keep that in mind. Okay, here's the database that you need to download into your computer to set up the master database. And here's another file that you won't use until week 6 and 7 for calculations. And so we'll skip that for now. But for this video for week 5, we want to basically understand, have you look at this and pull this up into your computer. Okay, so let's go, if I click on this, it'll pull it up and I'll go to the file that it's in right now. So what we're looking at is the file that we just pulled up. You'll see that it basically starts off with model year and it goes over through sum of 20-week requirements. In order to set up a master file here, we have to add a couple of things, and we have to do a little bit of hiding some columns. So what I want to do is show you up in the right-hand corner here. To this database, you want to add a weekly, a daily, length, width, and height column heading. And also, you will want to do some hiding of some columns. How do you hide a column? Well, if I wanted to hide this first column, which I don't need, I go up there and I look at that arrow and I click on that and I right click and it says hide that column. That column goes away, okay? So what we have now is that column is still there, but you can't see it, All right. So we're going to go through and we're going to hide these columns that we don't need. So we need part number, we need part name, we need supplier name. We don't need the city, so let's hide that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We do not need that one. We do not need that one. We do want to keep this one. We do, that's the R value column. We do not want or need that one. Gonna hide that one. We're gonna hide that one. And we're gonna hide that one. And we're gonna keep standard pack, container dimension, and sum of 20-week requirements, okay? So what we're looking at here is a database that now has the columns that are called out in the instruction for the headings, which is the part number, part name, supplier name, R value, standard pack, container dimensions, and sum of 20-week requirements. We also have added the weekly, daily, length, width, and height part of that, okay? What we want to do now is set up a master file on the bottom here. Put a tab in your computer, take your original database, add a tab for master file, and it should look like this, okay? It should have all of the columns that I just let stand and did not hide up on the top. The other thing you want to have on your computer is the ability to sort by column. And when you do that, have all of the other columns that are in line with that column follow along. You have to do that by going up here and going from B through V. You'll go up to data and you will hit filter. Okay. And it was in there. So it came out when I hit filter, but when I hit it again, you can see that those arrows show up. What can I do with that? Well, I can sort any one of these columns in this database. And if I sort on weekly, for example, if I sort from high to low or largest to smallest, or if I want to go down here and pick, any one of the line items, I can do that. But for most part, I want to select all check mark in there, and then I can sort high to low, and that's or low to high. And for the week 5, we're going to sort from largest at the top to smallest at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so that's just a point that I wanted to make clear that you can't just go in there and sort a column of a database without doing that filter action. You will not pull the other data on that line item along with it. And that's what a lot of students did early on when the instructions of the course were not fully understood. Once again, the reason for this video. Okay, so now that we got that set up, let's take a look at how to populate these columns here. If I want to populate this weekly column, okay, remember that we added weekly, okay? How do I do that? Okay, so if I click on that, it shows me the formula that will do that. What I want to do is I want to take a 20-week volume and I want to put it into weekly buckets, okay? So we do Q2, which is that column Q, and it's line item 2, okay? You can see it's not line item 1, it's line item 2. So Q2 divided by 20 weeks, and that'll give you that quantity right there. How do you populate the rest of this column without doing it individually? Remember, there's over 2,000 line items in this database. Well, there's a little trick in doing that, and I'll show you over here on the width and height where I've only put in one line item. When I click on that, if I go take your mouse and move it over to the left, you can see a little black cross showing up. If I click on that cross, you see the whole line item flows in place there. Do it once again. Cross, all it fills all the way in, all the way down. See, it's going all the way down. Okay, so that's a little trick, so you don't have to basically do, hundreds and thousands of calculations. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so what I have here now is a database that basically is taken from the original file. All of the non-essential columns are hidden, and I've shown you how to put the arrow by using the filter concept in the data up here. And I've shown you how to do a calculation for a weekly, okay? And how to flow in all of the other numbers that go along with the length, width, and height. What is this length, width, and height? Where does it derive from? Let's take a look at this, okay? Here's where the left, right, and mid Excel training video is going to help you, okay? We have a container dimension over here in column P. I want to put these individual three numbers into the first column, the middle numbers into the width, and the last three numbers into the height. Okay, you can see that that is accomplished here. If I go down here and take a look at an odd one, 048, there's 048, there's 045, there's 045 over here, and there's 034, 034 over here. Okay. Well, how did I get those? So first off, before we do that calculation, we need to do a calculation of daily requirements. How do I get the daily requirements? Well, I take the weekly requirements and I divide by 5. So we have equal. Remember, when you're using Excel, you always have to put an equal sign in first. So we have equal R2, R, line item 2, divided by 5. It gives you that number, okay? Well, let's go ahead and populate that. Okay, so we got that all populated. Now we got this whole thing populated. How do we get these length, width, and heights in there? Okay, well, the left shows that I use equal left, parentheses, P2. P2 is where the data is. It's P, column P, line item 2. So it's P2, comma, and I want the first three numbers, which is 3. And that's how I get that that's how I get the I messed it up here. Let me go back a little bit. There it is. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that again, okay? Because we hit the wrong button and you see how easy it is. So let's hit equal left parentheses E2 comma 3 parentheses, and once again there it is. Okay, so that's how you get the length, and you'll populate that like I showed you with that cross. Okay, another the next easiest one is to go over here and do the height. It's the same thing except you use equal right, P2 comma 3. So the difference there is over here I used on the length, I used left. Over here I used right because I want this number over here in column P, which is 007. Okay, so that's how you get that one. The middle one is the hardest one. Okay, so the middle one basically you have to use the mid, so it's equal mid P2, and 5 is the number I count from the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 009. The 0 is number 5, so that's where the 5 comes from. And then I want only 3, so that's 009. So I go ahead and push that, and it comes out to the correct number. Now, I'm going to show you another thing here. I have to use left here. I have to use mid in the width column. I have to use right in the height column. Okay. And those numbers can be easily found by looking at this formula here, equals left P23 equal mid P2 comma 5 comma 3, and see how easy it is to screw this up? Well, I'm going to have to do this again. Mid P2 comma 5 comma 3. And there it is again. Okay. So that's how you get those individual numbers to be pulled from column P and put into the right columns over here. The other thing I want to make clear is to basically look at these instructions over here on the right, okay? It says your master file should only have the columns shown, which are the columns up here, the ones that I sorted that are left after I hid the other ones. All other columns should be hidden, so make sure that your master database has only these columns. If other columns are in there, it won't hurt it, but it just clutters it up, and it's prone to cause you to make a mistake possibly, okay? The second thing is the sorting of the answer, okay? Sorting of the master, okay, that's spelled wrong here, let's fix that. Sorting of the master file will be done in week 5, high to low, okay? Once we get done with this master database, we should basically save that, do not do anything with it, and copy and paste it to another tab, and then do the sort. And I'll get to that in a minute, okay? And I put a note in here to sort all columns, use the arrows under each column, which I showed you up here. Now, you can see these arrows showing up under each column. Okay. When you copy and paste those into another tab, those go away. You have to redo that in every individual tab as you move along. Okay. And I told you that here. If you do not see the arrow under each column, you need to go to the column B and you need to drag across to column V, okay? So, we're going to do something like that, all right? And then we're going to go up to data and we're going to say, hit the filter. I'm not going to do that because it'll take my arrows out and I'll have to redo it. So I'm just showing you that that's how you get it done, all right? All right, so now we've taken an original database and we've put it into a separate file, and we've hidden the columns, and we've added the numbers that we need for the 5 things we added, which were weekly, daily, length, width, and height, okay? That is your master database. Save it, do not do anything with it. You'll use that in this state exactly the same in week 5, week 6, and week 7. In week 5, we're going to sort this to high to low, okay? So in your assignment, you need to take this file and go up here to the left and click on that. And you hit right click and you will do copy, okay? When you do that, then you put that into a week 5 database by putting the X up there, hitting that, and do a paste, okay? When that gets in there, you will sort high to low. How will you do that? Well, you go to they're looking for the daily number now. You go to the daily number, hit that, make sure it's select all, and all of these check marks are there, and you want to sort largest to smallest, okay? That's what your homework assignment is going to look like. I suggest you put yellow coding or some color coding in there for the top 10. So it goes down to 11 because we started at line item 2. Okay, so there's your top 10. Here is the answer to week 5. Okay, so I'm going to stop share. And I'm going to make a statement here on how this is going to be graded. I want one Excel file that basically has your sorted answer, top 10. And if you get the right answer, fine. If you don't get the right answer, what I'm looking for is the sequence of processes that you went through does your database look like the database that I just showed you, okay? In other words, let's get on the Zoom again, and I want to share. Does your database look like this, okay? Do you have the correct headings? Do you have the sort arrows in there? Do you have these numbers filled in for weekly, daily, length, width, and height correctly? And does the sort on daily go from high to low? And so coming up with the sort is, I guess, if you're smart enough and you've had experience in this, you can come up with that. But what's going to happen for if you don't save this database, the original master file database, which is this one here, okay, you're going to probably make a mistake because I had some pretty low scores for people that didn't follow these instructions last couple of semesters. Okay, so I suggest strongly that you follow the instructions and come up with one database with the proper columns, with the arrows on top showing, with all of the data correctly entered into the right side for weekly, daily, length, width, and height. Okay, so from that, you should be able to get week 5 assignment complete with the sort from high to low, and then submit that to me. It's pretty straightforward. Next week, I will do an individual video for week 6. Week 6, we'll use the master database that we use today. And basically, there'll be something called a calculator file in there. It's an Excel file, it's a calculator. So in week 6, you're going to have to transfer, copy and paste from your master database into the calculator database, all of those columns, the columns along the top, the part number and the other things that are up there. And so we'll get into that in week 6. And then when we go to week 7, we're going to use once again the master database, unsorted, just the way it was defined in week 5. And that database requires no sorting whatsoever before you do the transfer, copy and paste from the file into the calculator. Okay, so this makes it pretty straightforward to get this week 5, 6, and 7 inventory assignment with the highest grade you can get without making a lot of errors, because you don't really fully understand the Excel sorting mechanisms and that sort of thing. So that's the reason I'm doing this video. Okay, so just be aware when I'm grading these things, I want one database. I want the database sorted high to low, and I will be looking at how you transformed your database. Does it have all of the criteria in there? Okay, so that's it for this video.